What's cracking, everybody? Alright, so I'm making a video, and this is a video response to a user by the name of Mr. Rebzion, or he says to call him Daniel or Rep, so I'm going to call you Rep. I found you through someone else, actually, through my wife, and Jack looked for, and I watched your video, and you were making, the video was specifically called Cyberbullying Does Not Exist. And I have to disagree with you. And I disagree with you pretty strongly on a few of your points. And I'm going to tell you why. I think that you are taking the process or the act of trolling and comparing it a little too much to cyberbullying. I don't know if you necessarily have the terms confused, but I think you're trying to make them too analogous of each other. I believe that you think that people see what they consider to be cyberbullying to be trolling, and or you think that people are overreacting and that they're misinterpreting trolling and calling it cyberbullying. That is a distinct possibility. I'm not ruling out that possibility, but I think you're wrong in the respect that cyberbullying does not exist, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, you made a comment, and I want to address this. You made a comment that if you have a situation where you're being bullied in life, real life, whatever you're doing every day, and that bullying carries over onto the internet, it is not cyberbullying. It is an extension of the real life bullying. You're wrong. I just think you're absolutely wrong, and I'll tell you why. There is a cyberbullying research center. I mean, every school has anti-bullying campaigns. There's anti-cyberbullying. There's all kinds of cyberbullying organizations now. The FBI has a cyberbullying and cyber terrorism, all kinds of things. Now, this comes from the cyberbullying.us, which is a cyberbullying identification prevention response fact sheet from Dr. Justin Patchen, who says cyberbullying is defined as willful and repeated harm inflicted through the use of computers, cell phones, and other electronic devices. End quote. Basically, we are referring to incidents where adolescents, could be adults too, use technology, usually computers or cell phones, to harass, threaten, humiliate, or otherwise hassle their peers. That is considered cyberbullying. Now, you, in your video, someone made a comment that basically said, well, I see your point, but let me find the video, or find the comment. It says there are times that, and I'm going to paraphrase, when trolling can turn into stalking or become a real threat. Offline. Just wondering if you agree, or what do you think? Your comment was, if it becomes a real-life situation and threat to your life, it is not cyber anymore. So by that logic, if there is something in your real life that goes online, then it becomes cyber. You quoted and acknowledged the word cyber. Because cyberbullying is through an electronic medium. The definition of cyberspace, in addition to that, is the realm of electronic communication. That would be the internet. That's cyberspace, so bullying over the internet is cyberbullying. Kind of driving that point home because I'm trying to make a point. Cyberbullying does exist. You can also be trolled. Now, trolling is different. I'm going to leave a link to a video of mine that you can go watch, and anybody can go watch it. It was a video that was made as a joke. For the first time in the public arena, I am going to openly admit that the video was a joke. It was made to a friend a long time ago, and we were making a joke. Now, go to that video and read my comment section. You are going to see nothing but trolls. Predominantly. Mostly trolls. And you're going to see them curse and call me names and insult my IQ and my weight and all this other crap. That's trolling. Those are people that are faceless, nameless people that want nothing better to do than to insult you. Yes, that's trolling. But the cyberbullying aspect of it is completely different. So there was an incident a few years back where a young girl had been talking to what she thought was a young man on the internet, and it turns out that one of her neighbors, who was only, I believe, 4 doors down from her home, another girl she went to school with, the young girl's mother had created this account, had posed as a boy to talk to this girl and get information from her that could be later used against her to humiliate her. And the mother admitted to creating the account with the daughter and another woman who was her employee for just in that respect. And the goal was to humiliate her because she had heard or was told by her daughter that this young girl that later committed suicide, had spread gossip about it. So that is an example of cyberbullying that led to someone's death. Now that's an extreme case. There have been incidents. Someone very close to me who has not only been cyberbullied by someone she has never met, but also has had a stalker. Now, some of you know, some of you don't. Jacqueline 4 is my wife, Heather. She was targeted by a griefer, which is basically an online gamer. And what these individuals do is they go online and they find people online. They target them, they choose them, and they harass them. They bully them, they belittle them, they threaten them. They do everything they can to make this person feel like they're being stalked, harassed. Her account was broken into, her docs were dropped, and what this griefer did not know. Now this is a group. Griefers are basically, a lot of them are younger, like kids. I'll call them kids. Younger people, young gamers that do nothing but sit online, and they take real life people that are on the internet and turn it into their own little video game. So they take people's lives and turn it into a video game. Now this individual didn't know her. She's real. Whoever this person was is a real person, but this was an online thing. This was a cyberspace situation. So it was cyberbullying. Now what this griefer did not know, which most of the things from this griefer situation did not go into her personal life, but what the griefer didn't know, and what some other people don't know, is that Jacqueline 4 had and has a real life psychotic stalker in the world who found her online initially and made threats to her personally to come and find her off the net in real life, who actually lived in the same state that she lived in, that I currently live in now. He's now somewhere else. He's actually in jail. He went to jail for a failed bombing of a post office. So that was one of his other crimes. But he is responsible for harassing, threatening, and basically making sexually explicit comments to women and young girls online. That is his MO. He doesn't meet these people. He is a coward. He is a piece of garbage. He sits behind his computer, and he's an armchair cyber bully. And that's what cyberbullying is. Cyberbullying does exist. Now, you make the argument that you can just turn off the computer. You don't have to be on the internet. You don't have to do this. You can stop this. This is avoidable. Not necessarily. This griefer situation, this stalker situation that starts off online, but someone decides to make it personal. But they still, even if they make it personal and they still stalk you online, they're still cyberbullying, or, it turns into an illegal criminal activity, but it's still considered cyberbullying. Now, just because Heather puts videos on YouTube, just because she's a woman, just because she's pretty, I guess she could close her channel, stop making videos. How is that in any way, shape, or form a justified alternative to avoid cyberbullying? She has every right to make videos. She has every right to do this. This is another individual who chooses, who makes a conscious choice to threaten, harass, stalk. It is cyberbullying. This person chooses to do that. They are the one committing the crime. They are the one at fault. They are the one who is the aggressor. Okay? So you have to understand that making an argument that someone could just not make a video or just stay offline, it's just not a good position to hold. Nobody makes you do this, nobody makes you do that. We all have our own free will, but it's not someone's fault because someone else makes a conscious choice to act a certain way towards that person. That individual is responsible for their own actions, not the individual who is having those actions impressed upon them. That doesn't mean that if someone can call me ugly or fat, I don't care. That could be somebody that's trolling me. They could leave me messages on my channel. That's all well and good. They're just a troll. They're nameless, they're faceless, and their goal is just come on and insult people. That's trolling. But if someone breaks into my account, if someone puts information out there and tries to puts pictures out there, puts videos out there, makes a video while breaking into my account and misrepresents me and says all kinds of awful things about so many people, that's like cyberbullying. That's trying to cause me harm. That's trying to misrepresent me. That's trying to damage my reputation. That's a form of cyberbullying. That's what we're trying to get at. So it does exist. It exists in many ways, shapes, and forms. What I think you are doing, what you've done, I think is you're saying that people are thinking that trolling, or maybe severe trolling, is cyberbullying. You think people are overreacting. That's the way I think you see it. That's just my position. That's how I see you discussing it. You think people are overreacting. Not all the time. And you can't really make the argument that there's no cyberbullying, there's only bullying. It just doesn't work. So, like I said, I disagree with you on a lot of points. I welcome an open discourse, an open discussion about the whole thing. And I'd like to hear your thoughts, about what I had said, the situations that I brought up. So I look forward to that. And anybody else that wants to make a video, anyone else that wants to comment, feel free to tell me how you feel and what you think. And that's about it. So, peace.